Good day, folks, and welcome back to Merton Hyundai and Ed's Garage. I apologize immediately right off the bat for the wind noise. It's another blustery day here in Chilliwack. But today we are having a look at the 2022 Tucson base model. This is the Essential all-wheel drive, it's called. Now, there is a front-wheel drive variant. The feature pack is identical with the exception of this one having all-wheel drive. So this is effectively a base model with all-wheel drive. So let's check out the features on a base model Hyundai product. Now, when you're looking at the Tucson, first off, obviously you've got this really cool, unique grille, which I've gone over in my other Tucson videos, but you'll notice we've got the daytime running lights on the sides of the grille, which is kind of cool, integrated into it. So when those are off, it just looks like all one big piece. Now check this out, on a base model vehicle, we have LED headlights. That's right, LED headlights and high beams on a base model. Coming around to the side here, again, another crazy plus for a base model vehicle is the aluminum alloy wheels. So this is aluminum alloy 17-inch wheels, 235, 65, 17s, wrapped in Rhodians. They're Nexen tires. Looking further down the side profile of the vehicle, we're going to go around to the back now. Obviously a really cool design. Now you'll notice on the Tucson Essential that this is not lit up like the Preferred and Up. We do have a backup camera here, of course. Let's have a look in the trunk. All right, having a look at the base model Tucson trunk, and I love saying base model, guys, because it's amazing what you get in the very lowest trim of the Hyundai Tucson. So first off, you'll notice on the wall here we've got the handle to pull down the seat backs. All right, and with the seat backs down, you see we got over 2,000 liters of storage space back here and a nice flat floor. So all the way from the edge of the bumper all the way over the seat back, it is a nice flat floor, easy to load large items. Underneath the floor, you can see we've got the hidden spare tire and of course the multi-height floor as well, so we can raise and lower that floor for a couple of extra inches of height. Nice and easy to do. I can even do it one-handed. Check that out. On the sides here, you'll notice we've got the little covers. Those actually can be removed, so when you want to use a privacy cover in the vehicle, all right, when it's not in use, it can actually be mounted here under the floor so that it's no longer seen. Even the floor itself is a nice engineered fiberglass product. Very solid floor. And you've got a 12-volt power outlet right behind your illumination there. So yeah, lots of room back here. Now, you'll notice as I close the door here, or the hatch, something really cool. First off, a nice smooth badge, but you'll notice this looks really clean. And that's because the windshield wiper, the window wiper rather, is hidden. It's actually tucked underneath there. So now you compare that with anyone else in the market, I'm pretty sure the Tucson, if not the only one, is one of the only ones that has no showing wiper on the back. A minor thing, but you know what? It's cool. It's a nice clean look. All right, let's check out the back seat. Now, the reason I left these seats down is because I want to point out just how easy it is to get them back up, because they do lock into place. It's one of the few companies that actually has lock-in-place rear back seats. Now, when I pull this handle, it unlocks. You'll notice that the seat itself was leaned down or kneeling down, so it actually gets out of the way. But it's a one-handed motion now, so boom, it's up, just as easy as that. All right, sitting in the back seat of the Tucson. Now, I've gone ahead and put the front seat where I would basically be comfortable driving it. I could have it back a little bit further, obviously, because you can see just the amount of legroom I have in the back is immense. This is probably the best, if not one of the best, for legroom in its class. Now, also back here, we do have a cup holder armrest, and it is a nice cushioned armrest. But also, check this out, where other companies give you one, maybe two positions for the recline, I've got 9 different potential places that I can actually put this seat back, all the way to here. And you know what, if we're on a long drive, this is going to be a really nice, comfortable place to be. I can very easily take a sleep, go to sleep on this back bench. In the footwell for the rear passengers, you'll notice it's a nice flat floor all the way underneath the front seats, so I can really stretch out my legs, and it's quite comfortable. Both of the seats have seat back pockets, and of course there was the cup holders in the armrest. There's also a bottle holder here in the door, which will hold a water bottle or a Gatorade bottle or something like that. All right, let's check out the front seat. All right, before we jump into the front seat, It is just a manual seat on the base model. However, you do have height adjustment with this handle here. It's a pump mechanism, pump up and down. The seats themselves are quite handsome. It's a nice little style they've got going on in the back of the seat here. It's a cloth seat. Looks like a very durable seat. These ones are going to repel moisture as well, which is kind of nice. And of course, we got your typical power locks, windows, mirrors there on the door. It does, of course, have a dimmer switch and a stability control switch right there as well. Jumping in, we have a look at the steering wheel. Now, steering wheel has voice recognition for your wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That's right, this has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Obviously, you got your mute controls, your answer button, a customizable button which you can have do multiple different things. And on this side, you'll notice we've actually got lane follow assist. So not only does this base model vehicle have lane keep assist and autonomous emergency braking, it's even got lane follow assist. So at lower speeds, it's even capable of driving around corners to some degree, which is pretty cool. We've got automatic headlights as well, of course. And in the center screen, a lot of different functionality here as well. You'll notice we're currently on the all-wheel drive info screen, but I can change that. You'll notice beside the smart drive mode logo, you have the auto start stop logo, and that's your lane keep assist info. Right here, this will change the screen itself. So if we hit that button a couple times, you'll see it's moving to the right. In that screen, you see we have attention level, and then the lane keep assist info screen. Now the attention level system, basically what that does, that's going to do its best to monitor your level of attention while driving. So if it determines that you're getting tired behind the wheel because you've been on the road for too long, or if you're acting really jerky on the steering wheel, essentially it's going to determine that, hey, maybe you should take a break, and it'll actually give you a reminder to do so. The other thing in the attention level system is that if the vehicle in front of you starts to drive off, it'll actually give you a warning or a reminder to start moving. Pretty cool. All right, so the next thing over in the list is the digital speedometer, which you can quickly and easily change to miles per hour just by holding down the OK button. So we'll do that now. Boom, there's miles per hour, and back to kilometers per hour. We've got your drive info, your info since refueling. Obviously, it gets much better fuel economy than that. It's about 9 liters per 100 kilometers on average, this vehicle. It has a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder motor. And then we can see the trip A, and then the auto stop timer. If we go to the top button here again, we jump over to our user settings, where we can see the driver assistance options. So you can have different warning timing, so normal or late. That's for the forward autonomous emergency warning, the sort of crash warning system. You can change the volume. Driver warning systems here is where you can have the leading vehicle departure and the inattentive driving, which we just covered. Forward safety, active assist, of course, that's for the autonomous emergency braking system. Lane keep assist, which we already mentioned, and so on. So you can also change the cluster, so you can even have the warnings, the welcome sound come on when you turn the car on. You can have the one-touch turn signal go 3, 5, or 7 flashes. Most companies only give you the option to have it on or off. High beam assist, so that's pretty cool. So using that forward-facing camera that's mounted up in here, it's actually able to determine whether or not there's a car coming towards you. If you have your high beams on, it'll actually turn them off temporarily and let that vehicle pass by. There's some other things in there as well, like you can change units and convenience settings, like the rear occupant alert system. So that's kind of cool. So if the rear doors have been opened between when you got into the car and are getting out of the car, it'll remind you to check your rear seat for children or pets or any possessions you may have left. Okay, so some cool stuff in there. We also have a tire pressure monitor, which you can see there as well. Nice instrument cluster. It's got, of course, the speedometer on the left-hand side and the tachometer on the right-hand side, and they move opposite each other. So kind of a neat look. Good sounding engine, actually. All right, so speaking of the engine, the previous generation Tucson's base model had a 2-liter 4-cylinder mated to a 6-speed automatic. It produced about 165 horsepower, 164 horsepower. This one is actually a much nicer 2.5-liter SmartStream 4-cylinder engine. It's both gas direct injected and multi-port injection, so great fuel economy and great power for a 2.5-liter engine. Makes 187 horsepower, as I mentioned, but it's also mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. So base model vehicle gets a pretty healthy bump in power. All right, let's check out some of the other features in the center console. All right, so first off, the actual center console is quite large. Enough room in there for all sorts of knickknacks. We have a nice sort of brushed aluminum finish here. A little bit of piano black here, and then lots of piano black up here. There is dual heated seats, of course, in the front, 3 levels for both the driver and passenger. This is kind of nice, so you got the power e-brake in the base model as well, with an auto hold option, so that will hold the vehicle from moving forwards or backwards, whether you're on a hill or not. So when you take your foot off the brake, it just won't move. It's got hill descent assist, which will bring the vehicle down to 8 kilometers an hour. When you're going less than 40k. So if you turn that on when you're going less than 40 kilometers an hour, you use the brakes to slow you down. You've got different drive and terrain modes. So when we put it into terrain mode, just zoom in a little bit here so you can see what we're doing. So we put it into terrain mode, we can actually change between snow, mud, and sand. And then in the drive modes, we have Eco, Normal, Sport, and Smart. Eco mode is great for saving fuel on the highway, not so much in the city. Then there's the normal mode, which just puts the system into a normal mode. Of course, Sport mode gives you a bit more power, low-end power, and also tightens up the steering wheel. And then the Smart mode kind of looks at how you're driving and adjusts accordingly. In the different terrain modes, snow, mud, and sand all vary the all-wheel drive system and the traction and stability control system to give you the best possible traction in those conditions. And that's all changed with the drive terrain button and the little rocker switch to the right of it. The auto start-stop system can be disabled quickly by pressing that button there. And of course you have a traditional shifter stick with Shiftronic mode on the left there. So gear up, gear down. In the bottom of the center console, you got 2 USB ports here. So this one will charge your passenger's phone or whatever phone you connect to it. This one will do the same, but it'll also give you wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You got the 12-volt port outlet down there. Now in higher models, right here would be a wireless charger. On this particular one, of course, it's just a storage compartment. Manual climate control with AC, of course, and up a little bit higher, you have an 8-inch touchscreen with a beautiful backup camera, good high-quality screen, and of course dynamic steering lines in the backup camera. And check this out, we can even set the backup camera to look straight down over the bumper if you're backing up to a trailer or whatnot. And you've also got dynamic steering lines there. Now the radio screen itself is quite intuitive. You've got the channel here, which you can change right here. You got a tuning knob. All of your presets are on the left-hand side here. And to set a preset, it's as simple as pressing this little star. Touch-sensitive screen, it actually works really, really well. And I'd like to point out a big, big advantage of Hyundai over the competition, and that is this is not a polarized screen. If you're wearing polarized sunglasses, you'll still be able to see the screen quite easily. Also inside here, you'll notice we have an HD radio option. So of course it can pull radio data, things like song titles and whatnot, and a slightly clearer signal if it's on HD radio as well. From here you can also quickly turn the display off if you want, and then press it again anywhere to turn it back on. From the home screen, you'll see we've got all menus, which has a few things that you can go through. You've got quiet mode, which will actually limit the total volume and also turn off the rear speakers. Of course, there's the setup, which gets the same thing as the setup button on the right-hand side. Device connections is where you'd set up Bluetooth and stuff like that. Sound, you can change the tone, where the audio is coming from, that sort of thing. Wi-Fi is where you can enable and disable the wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So great features in there as well, and we do still have a physical knob for volume and tuning. All of the other buttons here are touch sensitive, but they are very, very responsive. They work really, really well. This custom button right here is one of my favorite. It allows you to choose phone projection or Apple CarPlay Android Auto and quickly jump back into your Android Auto and Apple CarPlay simply by pressing that star, so you don't have to go back to the home menu to do so. All right, the one last thing I wanted to point out is that both side visors do slide out, and they both have mirrors as well. All right, so that's pretty much all the features on the base model Tucson Essential. Pretty amazing what you get. The value for this vehicle is amazing. I mean, we're talking about, you know, with a front-wheel drive, a sub $30,000 vehicle in Canada, and the features that you're getting, like the 8-inch touchscreen with the Apple CarPlay, the Android Auto wirelessly, you know, the amount of trunk space that you're getting, the legroom in the back, the safety features, the autonomous braking, the lane keep assist, the highway follow assist, all of those things, you know, for a base model vehicle is something we would have dreamed of, you know, even just 5 years ago. If you guys like this video, Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe to future videos. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.